All right, good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021, and this is the regular meeting of the Kings County Board of Supervisors. This meeting is being held via teleconference pursuant to AB 361. Due to issues arising from COVID-19, the board is using the WebEx teleconferencing format for today's meeting and may be participating via the World Wide Web. If you'd like to make a public comment through the teleconferencing format today, please make sure you are identified by name in the WebEx system. For those interested in commenting during unscheduled appearances at 9 a.m., please use the raise your hand feature and wait to be recognized. You will be allowed up to 2 minutes for public comment. Members in the audience, man, let me take a sip here.
Stuff's getting old.
It is. I feel it. Members in the audience who have filled out speaker cards will be taken in the order that they were received by the clerk, and online speakers will be taken in the order they appear in the WebEx system, showing that their hand is up. If you wish to speak today and are having issues with the raise your hand feature in the WebEx, please physically raise your hand so we may see that you are waiting to be recognized. Any member of the audience, either in person or online, who wishes to speak regarding the administrative hearing.
Nope, old one.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry.
Wrong, little additive there. That's not pertinent today. All right, each vote today will be a verbal or voice vote so that members of the public can hear how each board member has voted. After we have had a motion and a second regarding each item we're taking up today, there will be a roll call voice vote by district. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Here.
Richard Valley, Patrick Boone,
Here.
Craig Peterson,
Here.
Richard Fagundes is absent.
Okay. So we have 4 here. We have enough to conduct business, and we'll move to the invocation. Supervisor Neves.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to assemble again today. Please remember those that are sick and ailing, and please remember those families that are suffering loss. With that, I hope everyone traveled here safe and can get back home safe and have a productive week. With that, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, this time we'll move to item 2, which is unscheduled appearances. Any person may directly address the board at this time on any item on the agenda or any other items of interest to the public that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. 2 minutes are allowed for each item.
The first person who has a speaker card is Rebecca McGee. Right up here, please.
To the Kings County Board of Supervisors, we are coming to you to ask that the Kings County Board of Supervisors go back to the negotiating table with the in-home health service caregivers. Right now, we are working on the front lines caring for Kings County's most vulnerable. We are told that we are essential, but we have not been treated like it. We are risking our lives every day, keeping our elderly and disabled out of the hospital. Every day that in-home health service workers go into work, we are putting ourselves and our families at risk of getting COVID-19. Why isn't the county treating us like the essential workers we are? Heroes deserve heroes' pay. It's time in-home health caregivers in Kings County receive living wages, proper protections, and become a priority to the county. In-home health service caregivers are essential today and tomorrow. The county needs to step up and invest in in-home health service caregivers. We demand that caregivers receive living wages and proper protection in hope that we can prevent themselves, their recipients, and their families from getting sick, and so that they can afford health care benefits in case they do. The time of overlooking in-home health service workers is over. Prioritize home care workers now. We demand living wages and proper protections for our Kings County in-home health service providers. At this time, I would like to give the Board of Supervisors petitions that we would like to circulate. Thank you.
Make sure they get them. The next person I have is Viridiana Perez.
Hi, my name is Verdiana Perez. I was born and raised in Hanford, California my whole life. I am 27 years old. I am a provider for in-home support services. I have a brother who is disabled since the day he was born. So I grew up watching him struggled. My mom struggled. My mom also had cancer at the time. So imagine a 5-year-old seeing her older brother disabled, can't do anything himself, and her mother with cancer. It was a very hard struggle, but my mom managed. So now I'm doing the same, helping people who are disabled, whose family don't come and visit them, which is very sad, who abandoned their own father, their mother, their brother, or their sister. And I'm just asking you guys, can you guys help us out and raise our wages? Because we are there helping them, and they're more than a client. They're a family member now, because we are there seeing them, helping them out, and we have a connection now because they don't see their family members. We are their family members now, and we need the help so we can continue to help them. Thank you.
Next, we have Carmen Diaz.
Good morning. My name is Carmen Diaz, and we have 2 young adults who have different abilities. We moved to this county 3 years ago. My grandmother was born in this county. This is why we came, Hanford, California. We came here because we wanted to make sure that our kids who have different abilities could have a long and lasting life, and that they can have a prosperous, comfortable, in their least restrictive environment. In-home support services provides that for them. But I also want to mention that in the pay rate and with economic issues coming up and everything rising, it is not enough for a lot of families, especially care providers who are considered like family. I just wanted to bring up the issue with you guys on why are we still behind and not negotiating our contract? Our contract has been in limbo since 2017. This is an issue that needs to be brought up to the forefront. In Fresno, they've already renegotiated their contract twice. And they also get healthcare providers also get the option to get health insurance. We don't have that option here. I think it's important for you guys to really consider and look into the options that we can have as care providers here. Because eventually I know that I'm not going to be able to care for my young adult. One day I will go, and I really need the negotiations to go much faster than where we have it now. And I am pleading with you guys to please look into the negotiations, because we do need them. More now, not in 3 or 4 years or 7 years. So I hope that you guys consider that. God bless you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Bonifacio Diaz.
Good morning. My name is Bonifacio. I'm here to support the IHSS workers in King County. I hear that Fresno and Tulare counties provide good health insurance benefits and much better pay rates than us. My big question would be to you is, Why is Kings County falling behind and the rates are lower than other counties? Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the speaker cards I have. I understand Bill Lynch would like to speak.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Bill Lynch, Kings County Fire Department. Just want to give you a brief update on your fire department. We currently have personnel and apparatus operating on the Windy Fire. That fire is in Tulare County. It's about 100,000 acres and it's about 72% contained. Then last night, I'm very happy to report that we had again a name request for your Dozer 9. It responded last night to the K&P complex, which is a 80,000 acre fire right now and is very low containment. So we were name requested and that means the program's working. So thank you.
Thank you.
I understand Keith Fagundes would like to speak.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I think it's wise to publicly acknowledge the efforts you made last week with the unrepresented management. And that was a huge, bold step to show that this board, like every other employee here, matters, and that you guys took the bold step of giving significant cost of living increases. And that's not done often independently like you all did. So I know the unrepresented management in our chain is certainly appreciative of it. And I'm appreciative of you helping me take care of them in that way. As an update, as far as court calendars, we have 1,236 hearings this week in court. That is down from the 1,800 we had pre-COVID, but it is wise given the COVID numbers. And then we have 3 jury trials we were able to get off this week. All of them homicides, 1 attempted homicide and 2 homicides. The first homicide ended yesterday with a guilty verdict. Second one, we should be closing today. And the third attempted homicide is actually starting evidence today. So thank you again. And if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me.
That's all that I was aware of. I don't know if anyone else wanted to speak, and I do not see anyone with their hands raised.
All right. Very good. Thank you. We'll move now to item 3, approval of minutes. We'll start with report out of closed session from the regular meeting from September 28th, 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your board authorized the extending of the Department of Finance recruitment, and in lieu of the additional work that is going to be taken up by the Assistant Director of Finance, Treasury, and Auditor Division, your board authorized a special salary upgrade of 5% for each one of those individuals in the interim basis while that position is open for recruitment, which would bring their monthly salaries of approximately $10,283 a month. That was your only reportable action your board took last week.
Very good. Thank you. All right. We'll move to item 3B, which is approval of minutes from the September 28th, 2021 regular meeting.
So moved.
Nev seconds.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Aye.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye. So we have 4 in favor. Motion carries. We'll now move to the consent calendar and have that before you, board. What's your pleasure?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Nev seconds.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Aye.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye. Okay. We have 4 in favor, 1 absent. We'll move to regular agenda items this time. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Chuck Kinney with Kings County Community Development Agency. Come before you this morning to report out on the Planning Commission's actions from their September 13th meeting. At that meeting, there was only one item of business considered, which was conditional use permit number 21-01 for Central Valley Meat. This application proposed to expand the existing beef processing facility located at 10431 8 3/4 Avenue in Hanford. Accessor parcel numbers 016-060-012, 014, and 024. This expansion will be in 2 phases. To construct a new rendering plant, a new pet food facility, as well as additional facilities for the existing beef boning and slaughtering operation at Central Valley Meat, which will include the construction of a livestock canopy over existing cattle holding pens, expansion of an existing cooler facility, scale house, a guard shack, a Hyde building, truck wash building, additional parking and drainage retention pond, 2 brine evaporation ponds, non-retail fueling facilities, a new access driveway from Hanford Armona Road, 2 electrical power substation facilities, an expansion building to consolidate production capacity of ground beef and other bulk case ready items, and also a new freezer cooler building. The only comment provided during the public hearing was 1 opposition letter, which was received prior to the meeting. And the project was approved by the Planning Commission, 3 in favor and 2 absent. Concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Very good. Any questions from the board?
Do we need a motion to approve anything or just a report?
You need-
Okay, thank you.
Actually, we need you to accept the report.
I'll make a motion to accept the report as presented. Thank you, Chuck.
Nev seconds.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
All right.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Okay, we have 4 in favor. Motion carries. Move to item 5B, which is from the Department of Finance. Morning, Rob.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Rob Knutson with the Department of Finance. Before you this morning, requesting a budget appropriation for the purchase and reconfiguration of some office workspaces in the accounting division of the Finance Department. As you recall, with the current budget, we were approved for the addition of some additional staff. So of course, we need space for them right now. We do not have space and we are unable to recruit any of the positions. We just started our 2nd year in Finance Enterprise. So with its scanning and electronic recording capabilities, we no longer need the 25 file cabinets that fill up our office right now. So we're working on emptying those and getting rid of them. We brought in Cal Bennett to give us a plan to reconfigure our current workspaces and add more partitions and workspaces to add 3 more spaces for staff. So this would allow us to have the space needed to provide. The total cost of the project is about, well, the cost of the equipment and the reconfiguration is almost 22,000, but we'll need some additional electrical work done and data wiring done. So we're estimating the project to be about $25,000. So we're requesting to take this from our tax sale proceeds fund, which allows us to use it for these types of purposes. The fund is currently at 237,000, so there's plenty enough in there to cover this expense. So, questions?
Very good. Thank you. Questions from the board?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Nev seconds.
We have a motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Aye.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Thank you.
Yep, we have 4 in favor. Motion carries. Now move to item 5C, which is from Public Works and Mr. Tyberski.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Dominic Tyberski, Kings County Public Works Department. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
coming in loud and clear.
Very good. It's the way I like it. Okay, so I am before your board this morning to request approval of the United States Department of Agriculture request for lease proposal number 57-06031-20FA regarding the county-owned buildings located at 680 East Campus Drive. The USDA has been leasing this property from the county since 1987 and currently occupies just over 4,000 square feet. Late last year, the USDA released a request for lease proposal, or RLP, issued to any proprietor who may want to make an offer to lease space to the federal government. County Public Works has been working with USDA in an effort to respond to this RLP, which includes a request for an additional 2,000 square feet and approximately $138,000 in building improvements. These improvements, of course, would be paid by the USDA if we were to move forward with this contract. So Public Works hired an appraisal company to set the new rent unit rate based on local market valuation. The per square foot rate will go from $23.40 to $30.21 per square foot. And that will be fixed for the first 3 years of the lease and then renegotiated thereafter. I am before your board today to request the submittal of the RFP response, which will allow the next step to occur, which is the evaluation of the county's proposal by USDA and commencement of negotiations for the new lease agreement. So at this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great. Thank you, Dominic. Questions from the board?
Nope. I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Nev seconds.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call a roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
So we have 4 in favor, 1 absent, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Dominic. Okay, we'll move to next regular agenda item, which is from Public Health. Morning, Darcy.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board, Darcy Pickens, Public Health. I'd like to start my report by reminding everyone that the tools to end this pandemic are in our hands. Chief among those tools is vaccination. Others include frequent hand washing, staying home when you're sick, staying hydrated, and wearing a mask. Also, as a reminder, our daily numbers are on our website. We continue to have ongoing communication with the hospital on their resource requests and daily status. The overall trend seems to be stabilizing somewhat, with only a slight increase from the total hospitalizations reported last week. Although we are currently, we do currently have a higher number of people in the ICU than we've seen during this current surge. We know that people are getting sicker, and that's reflected in our numbers, sicker with this surge. So as of October 4th, the local hospital had 53 patients in med-surg and 13 in the ICU. Of those admitted, 49 are Kings County residents. Since July 1st, unvaccinated COVID patients have accounted for 90% of hospital admissions, 10% of those hospitalized having been vaccinated. Central California Emergency Medical Services Agency, EMSA's assess and refer policy remains in place. That's in Kings, Tulare, Fresno, and Madera counties still, which, as you'll recall, directs paramedics and EMTs to refer patients to urgent care or their provider if, after a full assessment, the patient exhibits no emergent conditions that would require immediate transport to the emergency room. Our PPE status has not changed. We are still maintaining a 60-day supply of PPE for our healthcare facilities. The mobile testing site schedule for this week is on our website, and testing demand appears to have leveled off some for the time being, at approximately 2,160 tests this week. The testing backlog reported last week has improved some. Turnaround time is anywhere between 3 and 5 days, but we are seeing more tests come back in that 3 to 4 day range as of this last week. Again, we want to highly encourage those that are testing due to symptoms and/or exposure to remain at home until they have received their results in order to avoid further transmission of the virus. As our air quality continues to be poor and we come into the winter months, it will be important to rule out COVID as the cause of symptoms that can often look similar across various seasonal illnesses and allergies. We had 587 new cases last week, which is an increase from the 2 weeks prior and brings our new case count since the start of the current surge to 6,031 new cases. In the past week, we've continued to see a slight decrease among the 0 to 11 population, and cases among the 20 to 49 population appear to be leveling off some. Our Delta variant case count has increased to 312, a 100 case increase from the week prior. And currently there are 81,537 reported cases of the Delta variant in California. Last week, Public Health administered 501 vaccines, which is just slightly higher than the previous week, though we continue to have appointment and walk-in availability at this time. The health department continues to administer the additional dose of the vaccine for immunocompromised individuals, as well as the 6-month booster for all other eligible populations. The booster dose, which helps individuals maintain immunity over a longer period, is still only available to those who have received Pfizer. We will continue to update you on further FDA and CDC vaccine approvals expected in the coming weeks. So far, Kings County providers have administered 113,501 vaccines to county residents. 9,196 residents are partially vaccinated, 52,515 fully vaccinated Kings County residents. Our current breakthrough rate is at 1.2% of our total vaccinated population, indicating the vaccine remains highly effective. As you may have heard this week, Governor Newsom has directed the California Department of Public Health to follow the procedures established by the legislature to add the COVID-19 vaccine, to the list of vaccinations required for in-person school attendance based on grade level, pursuant to Health and Safety Code. The requirement would be dependent upon full FDA approval for age groups within a grade span, followed by CDPH considerations of recommendations from ACIP, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the American Academy of Family Physicians. Approval for ages 12 and up would correspond with grades 7 through 12, while full approval for ages 5 to 11 would correspond with grades K through 6. This is consistent with existing procedures for other required childhood vaccinations. The requirement would take effect at the start of the school term following approval for the respective grade span. That's defined as January 1st or July 1st, whichever comes first. Based on current information, the requirement is expected to apply to grades 7 through 12, starting on July 1st, 2022. We continue to see evidence that vaccination is safe, effective, and widely available in Kings. So we ask that people please consider vaccination for both COVID-19 and the flu this year. Our department will continue to do all that we can to contribute to a community that is safer and more secure against this virus, and will continue assisting healthcare providers in meeting the demand for COVID-19 related services. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Very good, thank you. Right, questions from the board?
I have a question.
Yep.
So the governor's plan is to mandatory vaccines for all schools. And then are you working with the Office of Education to start that procedure, or is it up to individuals to get their kids vaccinated?
So it will be part of the already required childhood vaccination schedule. So what we do is send a calendar of our vaccination clinics to the schools. So it goes to the Office of Ed and then all of the various districts. We also have a school liaison right now specifically for COVID. So that person is working on messaging to the schools, all of the individual schools and all of the districts, just to let people know that this is coming and to prepare to get their kids in.
The cutoff date November 1st, or is there a final date they have to have them immunized by then?
Right now, there is not, because it doesn't have full FDA approval.
Oh, okay.
So we expect that the requirement will go into effect July 1st of next year, but that remains to be seen. That'll be dependent on.
They got
further
time to
approvals. They still have time.
think about it.
Yes. Yeah. So we're starting messaging early and trying to answer as many questions as possible.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Right, further questions from the board? All right, Darcy, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we should, just for the record, Supervisor Neves has left the meeting. And at this time, we'll move to item 6, which is board member.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
as is customary, I'll go ahead and give the update on the current status of the COVID in Kings County employees.
All right.
Since the new surge began, we've had 124 cases, and we currently have approximately 35 individuals quarantined or teleworking, which is commensurate with what we reported last week.
Thank you. Okay, at this point then, we will now move to board member announcements.
I got nothing.
Supervisor Rowley?
I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And I'm good as well. So we'll move to board correspondence.
That went a little bit quicker than I anticipated. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mhm.
For board correspondence, Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board submitted notice of meeting and agenda for Friday, October 15th, 2021 at 9 a.m. For upcoming meeting and events, the links for Life Pink Passion Picnic, Hanford Civic Auditorium, October 20th, 2021 at 10:30. And again, the United Cerebral Palsy Central California inaugural cornhole tournament at Hanford Civic Auditorium, October 24th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. For upcoming agenda items, admin has an agreement with Vanner for capital project improvement. The library has Faber Specialty Vehicles Agreement with the Kings County Library. Behavioral Health has 2 items, an agreement with Eval Corp for the completion of the county's Mental Health Services Act annual update, and an agreement with iHeartMedia for media marketing services. County Council has 6 items, a conflict of interest code for the Stratford Public Utility District, appointment of trustees to the Tulare Lake Reclamation District, the Delta Lands Reclamation District, the Megla Water District, the North Central Consolidated Reclamation District, and the South Central Consolidated Reclamation District. The DA has a Child Advocacy Center Program grant. Elections has a certified statement for the September 2021 gubernatorial recall election results. Job Training Office has temporary department closure for building maintenance. Child Support Services has an MOU with the California Department of Child Support Services. Public Works has a public hearing for zone of benefit formation and parcel tax for road improvement and maintenance within zone of benefit 4-3. And Health, of course, has a COVID update. That's all I have for board correspondence and meeting or upcoming agenda items.
No other future events of any sort? Anybody has? Okay. Remaining on the agenda, we have closed session, and within closed session, we have numerous items. First would be negotiators meeting for the outline is a little short here. I think I missed. We normally have the government code section, but anyway, Prosecutors Association, Detentions Deputy Association, Probation Officers Association, also LaCia, the General Unit, and the Supervisors Unit. We have personnel matter, government code section 54957, public employee appointment, director of public health. The next item, the significant exposure to litigation. 1 case has been pulled. We do have 1 remaining issue, and that is significant exposure to litigation. 2 cases, government code section 54956.9 D2 E3. I would ask County Council with respect to that. We're short on individuals today, so I would imagine an update is or can we take action if there's anything required with 2?
If in closed session, we don't have a quorum, then we can't take any action. We can't hold the closed session meeting. So.
Okay.
And then just for clarification on the conference with labor negotiator, the government code section was left off. That is government code section 54957.6. I apologize.
No worries. Okay. So with that, before we move to closed session, just 1 remaining item, which is a special meeting will be held this afternoon at 1:30. The issue will be personnel matter, government code section 54957, public employee appointment, and that deals with county council. So with that, any other information to come before the board this time? Hearing and seeing none, we will move to closed session at this time. Meeting is adjourned.